is the 2K Sports Pregame Show.
NBA regular season opener for a couple of teams. Thank you all for tuning in. So happy you're here. I'm ecstatic that you're here.
And I miss you too, Ernie.
And I'm really happy that Kenny and Shaq are here too.
I miss you too, Ernie.
Thank you. Me too. And in our matchup tonight, we'll see the Detroit Pistons going up against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And for Oklahoma City, this is their first time facing off this season. Last year, they split the season series at a game apiece. And fellas, a new season about to begin. Clean slate. Plenty of hopes and dreams out there. Kenny, how do you spot a new legitimate contender?
I usually look for the team with good balance, where one guy isn't doing everything. One guy can facilitate everything, but he can't do everything. So offense, defense, balance, and they gotta have a big shot maker.
You know, I look for unselfishness, guys playing with each other, mental toughness. No weak-minded team has ever won a championship, Ernie.
How about continuity, too? How about very little changeover from a team that was really good the previous year, may not have gone as far as they wanted, but returning the same bunch?
That helps.
Yeah.
Well said.
No need to add anything to that.
Continuity. Yeah. Kevin Harlan knows all about that.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony as well as Doris Burke. And we've got David Aldridge on the sideline. The fans here in Detroit ready to cheer on their Pistons in this interconference matchup. They're getting their first look at the Thunder. And this year ago, they each gained a victory at home, but couldn't secure a win on the road.
And this was as even a matchup as you'll find in the NBA. Split the season series down the middle, one apiece.
You know, both teams are competitive, but not necessarily playing yet at a championship level. And part of what makes this battle so intriguing is how close they are.
We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy has coached the likes of Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, and Dwight Howard. But he said, as a rebounder, Andre Drummond is as good as anybody, if not the best that I've ever been around. He just goes out and gets the ball. Drummond said it's just a will. The will to get the ball most people won't jump for. I just put myself out there. Kevin?
Thanks, DA. And Drummond is just a hulk of a man. He's really the backbone of this team. Maybe too soon to start talking about this, Doris, but we see some young teams getting blown out. Clearly they're in rebuild mode. At what point do you start to focus on player development versus winning games?
You know, this is such a tough organizational issue because you have to balance the priority of giving your young talent an opportunity to get the repetition necessary in a playing environment, in a competitive situation, versus we owe a commitment to our fans to win and win at a high level because they're paying the ticket prices and ultimately, you know, playing a part in our success. So I think some of this has to be, where are we at the midway point? Are we legitimately in playoff contention, or is it time to now focus on our player development? This is an organizational decision that has to happen organically over 82 games.
And you know what losing does to a culture. It can disintegrate a culture.
No, it's a great point. You do not want young players to get comfortable with losing. You are so right about that, Kevin.
We've got a chance here to set the floor, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this one. So the Thunder 5 right now. Inside, it's Patterson and Adams. Westbrook and Robertson are the backcourt pair, and it's George in at the 3 slot. And here's Westbrook after Avery Bradley was able to get the triple.
Yeah, with the defense laying off him, you know he's going to pull the trigger. They're lucky he didn't burn him.
Jackson has the open look. Again, the miss by Jackson. For Oklahoma City, they've gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Kept alive, tries again, and the layup by George.
You call Paul George a gamer, someone who uses his height well to snag second chance opportunities.
And it's Paul George with the foul. That's his first foul. Jackson kicks to Bradley. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. 6 points for Avery Bradley.
There's a chance he could go for a big game if they don't D him up on the perimeter. And that's really a function of the offense not working as it should.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's not how you capitalize on the offensive end. You simply have to be more patient.
Thunder have gone 2 of 6 from the field. Here's Patterson. That shot off the mark. And Detroit the other way now. Outside Jackson. Kicks it to Bradley. Wide open. And he gets the bucket. Bradley's got 8 points. The Thunder shooting well off their usual numbers, around 29% so far. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Well, Doris, you've said this many times. Few players as competitive as Russell Westbrook in the league. He goes full speed from start to finish, and you get the feeling he would play the entire game if his coach let him.
What I love most about Russell Westbrook is how much this guy just loves to compete. And it's that mentality that allows him to take over games, even if things aren't falling his way. It's hard to think of a guy who wants to win more in the league.
Now here is Harris. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. The 15-footer. Harris outside. Drummond a screen. Down to 5 on the shot clock. That's good from Harris on the assist by Jackson. Harris has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Thunder trailing by 7. Now the feed to Adams. Over Drummond. And again, no good by Oklahoma City. Harris outside. Now here's Bradley. He's guarded closely. Oh, and that jam by Robertson.
Oh, forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend.
And how? Brilliant throwdown. And that last replay courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. So it's Detroit now. The Thunder making the shot. And Andre Robertson is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. On defense, the Thunder trailing by 5.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
Can't hit from the corner. Here's Patterson. Oh, and he jams it right over John Lure. Wow!
Well, you take all doubt out of the equation. Patterson throws it down with force.
For Detroit, they've gone 5 of 9 from the field here in the first. Patterson bringing the double. Jackson with it. Westbrook picks him up. Lure dishes to Bradley. Harris outside. Launches it. 5 on the clock. And Avery Bradley gets the 3. Bradley's got 11 points.
Yeah, that's too good a look to give him from behind the arc.
Well, just the ability to have the kind of vision that Paul George has, exceptional at getting his teammates the basketball.
And Lure wide open, he shoots it, and that'll be Oklahoma City's ball as it goes out of bounds. No one had more success at the foul line last season than this group of players. 5th best, Paul George.
He was locked and loaded from the free throw line all season. Never suffered through any real lulls in that department.
Detroit making a switch here. Tolliver's checked in. Pistons leading by 4. Outside Jackson, and the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George. Jackson kicks to Tolliver. There's a screen. Pass to Bradley. Out left to the wing. Tolliver, no luck.
Boy, with that much space around him, maybe he's better off attacking the basket than settling for the jumper.
And it's blocked by Bradley. But they'll get another chance. Adams' shot is good.
Listen, we know Steven Adams is one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA. You've got to have great awareness about him on the glass.
The one thing we saw with the Thunder last postseason, Doris, is that when Russell Westbrook comes off the floor, this team sometimes lost its direction.
Yeah, but now with Paul George in the fold, it makes sense to stagger their minutes. That way they won't have such a dramatic drop-off if Russell Westbrook leaves the floor.
And when you look at what the Pistons have done, pretty clear that this is a team that has a vision of who they want to be.
Well, Jeremy Grant doing work at the rim. Don't give him any space, boy. This guy can get up.
Detroit's gotten a lot of shots off from three-point land in the first quarter, but they're only 4 of 9.
And the next one puts them in the bonus.
Here's Galloway. It's stolen.
You know, anticipation is a huge part of defense, and he played it perfectly right there.
So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And a moment now to look at the numbers for George. He's coming off an excellent season. He was around 23 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. He has been terrific throughout, putting up some huge numbers offensively.
Well, and this is exactly who he is, a flat-out scoring machine. You plug him in and let him go to work.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession. Here's Galloway. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. Galloway's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. And the dunk by Grant.
Well, Kev, how about Jeremy Grant playing to his strength? Uses that athleticism to finish that one with authority.
Marjanovic with a screen for Smith. Johnson, a wide open look. The offensive rebound. And that one's good. Marjanovic.
Now that's how you pick up second chance points. Stay active and be ready as soon as the shot goes up.
No good from Grant. Pistons leading by 3. Galloway kicks to Smith. And Smith gets double teamed. Stolen by Grant. It's taken away by Smith. Down low, Tolliver got a piece of it. They get it back and count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3. So it'll be Boban Marjanovic shooting. That's on Enes Kanter. For Detroit, they have had 2 chances at the line already, making them both. And Doris, you've spoken in the past about the art form of drawing a foul. Who are some of the best players that you've seen in executing that?
Well, I think the preeminent guy at this point would have to be James Harden, right? And this guy specializes in the and one, the 3-shot opportunities from 3. And listen, that is part of the game, and we do not want to take that aspect away, right? Because and ones have always been a part of the game. What we need to evaluate is at what point does a shot attempt begin versus those guys who are throwing themselves, or in James Harden's case, sometimes grabbing the arm of the defender and creating a foul where none existed before.
He's been very clever in perfecting that, and I give him credit because he has taken what's given and really exploited it.
It might become known if they make a change as the Harden rule, Kevin.
It probably will be.
From the opening tip, he's been active and working for good looks. He's been pretty accurate.
To the paint, here's Marjanovic. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. Marjanovic has got 9.
He has not missed a shot in this quarter. They've tried running different things at him, but he's been unstoppable.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
And you can blame it on a terrible defensive breakdown, one that could possibly swing the momentum here.
The Pistons have yet to miss from the free throw line. They're 3 for 3.
You know, it's amazing. Galloway completely unheralded before catching on with the Knicks. This is the guy who... Now, Paul George is an exceptional athlete and demonstrating his insane dunking skills there. Get this guy in the dunk competition.
Pistons leading by 7. Here's Kennard. And the lead now, double digits on that bucket. Kennard's got himself on the board with 3 there.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
And they've come out with a take-no-prisoners approach on the glass here tonight, guys.
To the middle. His shot is good, making him a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor.
And guys, they've come out and established a rhythm. And also their play calling has been on point.
Yeah, I think that's exactly how they've built this lead. They played as one, shared the basketball, running their offense to perfection.
Grant gets a wide open look. The putback, and George able to finish. He's got 6.
Oh, how about the deft touch right there, guys?
He just guided that ball back up and in. Just a fingertip touch on the ball. 4 seconds left, and George with the stuff.
You know, Kevin, there's a toughness in the attitude of Paul George. Perfectly fends off the D on his way to the rack.
Smith. That one's not going to go. The scoring fast and furious as we end the first quarter. Pistons lead by 8. Live from Little Caesars Arena, you're watching 2K Sports. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from Detroit?
Well, I mean, they just got hot early from beyond the arc, and we'll just have to wait and see if they can keep that going.
You just try to keep riding this wave, right? They've been absolutely dominant from three-point territory.
Here's Smith. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. So for Oklahoma City right now, on the wings, Abrinas and George. Enes Kanter is out there with Grant. And it's Kristen in at the 1 spot. Detroit leading by 8.
Well, Paul George has made himself into one of the premier two-way perimeter players in the NBA. I think you have to put him in that category with Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James. He can take over a game in every facet, guys.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda. Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
But they recover it. Thunder trailing by 10. Here's Grant. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. And a look now at the breakdown between 3-point and 2-point shots attempted here tonight for the Pistons.
And this is a high-powered offense today. Clicking on all cylinders, making things happen, and also good use of the 3-ball. But just enough to keep the defense off balance.
And the Thunder making a switch here. Adams checked in. And Jeremy Grant picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. Endorse Paul George, capable of carrying a team offensively while also locking down the other team's top wing threat.
And that, to me, Kev, is one of the hardest things to do in this league. To expend the energy necessary to be an elite two-way player, Paul George is the real deal.
Harris is checked in for Detroit. Thunder trailing by 10, and Adams kicks to Kanter. And so he draws the foul on the shot, trip to the line to shoot 2.
It's the size of Kanter that makes him a tough matchup, right? He is so good at finding space inside and forcing the defense to foul him.
Drummond's checked in for Marjanovic, and Kanter drops them both.
Well, Kev, you have to love how Enes Kanter plays with his back to the basket. This guy is so efficient. He is one of the most productive big men off the bench, the kind of player every coach would love to have to get a little juice in your second unit.
And Enes Kanter picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Guys, that's number 2 on him, and they do not need him to sit right away, but one more foul before the half, and he'll be headed to the bench.
Avery Bradley, he's checked in for Detroit. Reggie Jackson comes in for Langston. Oklahoma City also making a switch. Patrick Patterson, he's checked in for Kanter. Doris, as you said, Kanter has thrived as a sixth man. His ability to score on the block, he can carry an offense of a second unit.
Yeah, a lot of how Kanter scores is with his incredible footwork. He is great at sealing off a defender to get the shot he wants, and he's also a very strong finisher. Just a little hesitation on that release, right? His timing looked a bit off.
Adams' shot is off.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to give your offense a chance, and that possession didn't do it.
Not at all, Greg. I mean, no reason for him to be taking these kinds of shots. He has only himself to blame.
And a quick check of the stats for Drummond. Last season, he played outstanding. Second in rebounding, 16th in shooting percentage, and he was also among the top 20 in steals. That ability is more unique than folks realize. Very valuable defensively.
And looking back at last season, his complete dominance on the boards to rank number 2 overall. Absolutely remarkable.
Boy, you have got to love the dime, the pass on time and on target.
Pistons leading by 7. Jackson is doubled. Patterson against Harris. Nice ball movement by Detroit. Adams brings the double team. Harris outside. Just 5 to shoot. The Pistons rebound. Here's Drummond. Well, it was only a matter of time, but they finally get the bucket.
And not afraid to say it. If Drummond isn't the best rebounder in the NBA, he's got to be in the top 3. That goes for both ends of the floor. Just no way to hold him in check on the board.
Drummond the screen. There's Jackson with the 3. They get it back. And he got the whistle, so he'll have a 3-point play opportunity.
He doesn't do some of the damage that other big men do on the perimeter, but inside, Drummond's got just as much game as anybody.
And watching Andre Drummond play, he's really just an old school type center. I mean, he eats up space in the middle and finishes plays in close. Not a skilled guy who can pull a defender away from the basket.
Jackson with it. Westbrook picks him up, and they double up Jackson. And Andre Robertson is going to pick up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. All sorts of time. And a big bounce off the rim, but it sinks right in. Kennard's got 5 points in the quarter. Here's Westbrook. Again, Oklahoma City.
And a lot of teams avoid the mid-range jumper, but they seem to be using it well.
Jackson passes to Harris. Patterson bringing the double. And stolen by Patterson. And it's Patterson finishing it off.
Now, I tell you what, they won't be down for long if they can get some more early offense like that.
Pistons leading by 4. Drummond the screen. Lobbed up there for Drummond. Here's Patterson. And it's Patterson finishing it off.
Boy, Kev, what a day Patrick Patterson is having. The points coming in bunches. He has been superb.
The pass to Kennard. Hangs in the air. They get it again. Here's Harris. Passes to Kennard. And again, it's the Pistons missing.
I'll tell you, he's not going to get in his coach's good graces if he's missing wide open looks like that.
Robertson gets the bucket.
Well, everything starts with a great pass, right? That's really pretty.
It's a neck-and-neck game in Detroit. They get a hand on it. Pass to Kennard. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. Drive by Adams.
Boy, Adams showing a bit of quickness on the drive. Fantastic athleticism for a guy his size.
And turnovers have been the issue for him.
You can see the coaches have gotten into him a little bit about this. They've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
To the left wing. Harris kicks to Bradley. On the wing, Jackson. He's covered by Westbrook. The last season for Reggie Jackson, he just couldn't get back to full strength. Missed a lot of time, Greg, as you know, with that injury to start the year. And even when he returned, his legs wouldn't cooperate and give him his usual burst and acceleration.
Yeah, and you can see it in Jackson's performance and really the numbers. Steep drop in production from what he had been putting up and very dependent on his burst. So hopefully he can avoid any leg troubles moving forward.
The Pistons leading. It's Bradley on the wing. Drummond is right there. Drummond's got 6.
And I like the fact that he really was unfazed by that scoreless first quarter, and now you can see him getting into a rhythm. Oh, and he went for the two-hander on the slam using some muscle.
Some urgency from him there, sure. Outside Jackson. There's the foul. It's on Patrick Patterson. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus. We'll go to the line to shoot 2. Pistons have been good at the free throw line. This one, 7 of 8.
And it's been an issue for them as it was last year. Only 72% from the line.
And the Pistons making a change here. Smith has checked in. And then for Oklahoma City, Enes Kanter's checked in for Adams. Grant comes in for Patrick Patterson. And Pistons subbed in for Russell Westbrook. Marjanovic checked in for Detroit. Langston Galloway comes in for Jackson. Now here is Smith. This one for 3. Kept alive. Here's Marjanovic. Banked in off the glass. He's got 11.
And Kevin, they dialed up their activity this quarter. We're seeing them convert a lot of those second chance opportunities.
Detroit leading by 4. Now Smith. Johnson with it. George picks him up. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Grant. Elbow shot. Robertson can't hit. The Pistons shooting 49% on the game. They'll take that. Galloway kicks to Tolliver. Johnson the screen. There's the double team with Grant. Tolliver for 3. Here's Marjanovic. Yes, once again, he remains perfect. 6 attempts and 6 hits.
And when you get this kind of shooting from him, 100% from the field, they're going to be tough to beat. Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
There's a screen by Marjanovic. Johnson draws the double to the inside. Tolliver. That one falls coming off Johnson's feet. And the Pistons lead by 6.
I mean, the number of points they've scored.
That jam!
Get out of the way! How about Paul George? Puts it on the deck, uses that explosive quickness. This guy is really hard to contain.
And here are the Pistons now. Johnson in the corner. Pass to Marjanovic. He doesn't hit that one. Excellent D from Kanter. Grant outside. A baseline J. And good. Got the English that time as it falls. Grant's got 10 points.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
And Smith gets double teamed. Knocked loose. Grant the pass to Kristen. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation. Lures checked in for Detroit. Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. Back to Galloway. Count it. 10 points for him.
But this guy is not shy about probing the paint. Galloway getting it done amidst all that tall timber.
And the dunk by Grant.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points. Johnson against George. The putback. Planks the putback jam. 1 second left. Oh!
Kevin, the vertical of Paul George. How good is that?
Unbelievable. And so it's tied as we head to halftime. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Kevin, thanks. Billy, balanced scoring for your team. How pleased are you with the way they're keeping everybody involved offensively?
Well, those guys, I think, have done a really good job of moving the ball and sharing the ball, and they're finding open men and they're willing passers, and I think because of that, they've been efficient offensively.
Open shots tend to be made. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway through one of the first games of this fresh NBA season. And guys, for the Pistons, Kenny, what's your take on Detroit so far?
Well, there was one pleasant surprise, and that was the bench. They gave them a big lift. Those guys came into the game, they did all the dirty work, and they scored baskets.
And big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Thunder.
They were really efficient, great approach offensively. Their shot selection was first rate. They were always working hard to get good looks. That can't change in the second half. They need to be just as well organized as they have been so far.
And time now to send you back down to the floor with Kevin Harlan. We'll see you later.
Welcome back, everyone. The lights of Motown reflecting brightly off the Detroit River. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. You look at Patrick Patterson, he's really playing well.
And we saw his work over the first two quarters, really pushing the action and consistently finding the open man.
It felt like he owned that first half because he involved his guys with his passes, found different ways to take advantage of the defense.
Doris, you went from the basketball court right to the broadcasting booth. Having seen the game now from an analyst perspective, what might you go back and tell Doris, the player?
Yeah, I'd probably tell myself to throw myself completely into the vibe of the team, to never, even if I were struggling as... Yeah, Kevin, they're simply going to play through Paul George until the defense shows that he can be stopped. And right now, he's virtually impossible.
And that last replay, courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Paul George with the steal. The tray tipped away. The Pistons trailing. To the wing on the left. Outside Bradley. Lets it go from 14. Oklahoma City shooting 61%, showing all the indications of an offense that is locked in. Jackson with it. And a minute played as the second half gets going. And stolen by Patterson. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City. And finished off by Westbrook.
I can't imagine the energy expended by Russell Westbrook. Always a threat to score, even when he's getting knocked around.
And, well, Detroit shooting 47% from the floor, getting it done. Down low. That's it, and the Oklahoma City lead is cut down to just 4 points in the bucket from Lure.
And that's how you want to come out of the locker room. He is fired up.
Absolutely perfect start to the half, setting the tempo right away with an easy opportunity at the cup.
And here are the Pistons. Knocks it loose. Westbrook against Jackson. Harris outside. Back to Jackson. And it's out of bounds. They say last touch by Adams. We take a second here to take a look at the shot chart for the Thunder.
Well, when you have a whole team that is locked in, this is what your shot chart looks like. They are moving the ball well and taking shots with confidence. When this team comes out and is knocking it down from all over like they are right now, they are one of the toughest in the league to beat.
Jackson kicks to Bradley. Jackson dishes to Lure. Patterson bringing the double, and the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That is his first foul of the game. Jackson is doubled. Outside Bradley. A three ball. That's good. And it's Jackson with the assist that time. Jackson's got assist number 8 here in this one already. And Westbrook, here we go. Some solid defense there from Jackson.
Boy, the defense gets into his head and alters his release when he really doesn't have to.
Jackson missing again.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game.
And it's in there.
Well, the size and the frame of Steven Adams was flat out intimidating. A high percentage scorer around the blocks.
Bobbed up there for Drummond. The alley-oop layup, very well done.
Oh, what a beautiful pass. And then to catch and finish all in one motion. Stupendous.
An alley-oop like that, Greg, is so rare you just got to take a second and enjoy it.
And one thing that you can say about this Pistons team is they are fundamentally sound. Strong on the glass and closing out possessions. And they really don't make a lot of mistakes.
Kevin, terrific activity from Paul George. Sticks his long arms in and mucks up the passing lanes.
Lure with it, guarded now by Patrick Patterson. That's tipped. Patterson bringing the double. Fast break, here they come. And it's Patterson finishing it off.
Yeah, sprinting end to end, but under control. That's the key.
No, exactly right, Greg. You can't go too fast. He pulled that off in brilliant fashion.
Greg, with the Pistons and their discipline as a team, part of their great rebounding means they allow very few second-chance points, one of the fewest allowed in the league last season.
And couple that with how strong they've been at taking care of the basketball. Low turnover numbers as well as points allowed off of those turnovers. And with that rebounding, I think it makes for very measured basketball.
Kennard, he's checked in for Bradley. Stolen by Westbrook. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time. The Pistons making a change here. Galloway's checked in. The pass to Kennard. There's the triple. Again, the miss by the Pistons. Oklahoma City leading by 9. Here's Adams. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. Here's Galloway. He's covered by Westbrook. And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
That, my friend, is what you call a power guard. Galloway with the strength to get it up in spite of the contact.
Anthony Tolliver. He's checked in for Lure. And Oklahoma City with a change here, too. Cantor's checked in. Here's Westbrook. Finds the bottom of the bucket from 13 feet out. Westbrook's got 8 here in the quarter.
From that in-between range, they've been the much better team.
Tolliver, the pass to Kennard. And it's sent back by George.
Paul George, tremendous vertical. Kevin, how fast does he get off his feet?
Stanley Johnson, he's checked in for Detroit. Here's Kennard. Here's Drummond. The shot missing. Excellent D from Cantor. Westbrook drives in. Another shot. Detroit with the rebound.
Well, they get it to the high percentage area, and then it all goes wrong from there.
And the basket by Johnson. Oklahoma City leading by 6. Cantor kicks to George. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. George has got 18 points in the game.
And I like that they're not settling. Getting the ball on the interior, 8 of their last 10 coming that way.
Here's Westbrook, and the dunk by Westbrook.
Boy, I love seeing Cantor distribute the basketball. If you're open, this guy will find you.
So it's Detroit now. Here's Galloway. He's got 13. And the Pistons decide to take their first timeout right here. And Greg, with Enes Kanter last season, he had to miss significant time with the broken hand, but his offensive game is something to watch when he's healthy.
He just plays hard. He provides that instant offense off the bench, a great array of post moves to pick from. Yeah, he's got to make some adjustments here. Just too easy to score in the lane against them right now.
But, Greg, no resistance, right? They're allowing them to get any kind of shot they want close. That simply can't happen.
And the Pistons making a change here. Marjanovic is checked in.
And let's take a look now at Russell Westbrook's numbers. Coming off a terrific season. He was around 31 points a game last year, 10 assists and 10 rebounds. He has been at his most dynamic, no question about it, a real handful.
Let's make no mistake, one of the elite talents in the NBA and operating at the highest level right now.
And it's George finishing it off.
You can see Russell Westbrook building the confidence of his teammates, fires it to them when they're open.
Pistons trail by 12. Poked loose. George passes to Abrinas. Shoots from the baseline, and Oklahoma City again with the bucket.
No hesitation when he saw the space the D was giving him. That's two.
Galloway kicks to Tolliver. There's a screen by Marjanovic. Marjanovic, a screen on George. Here's Abrinas, and he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
Fantastic anticipation. Then he shows major explosiveness converting at the other end.
Ish Smith, he's checked in for the Pistons. Nice ball movement by Detroit. And out of bounds as the Thunder gain possession. The 2K leaderboard provides us now with this list of last season's assist leaders. Russell Westbrook third.
Very few guys pass the ball better than he did. I mean, he didn't just have eyes in the back of his head. It's almost as if he had them on both sides, too.
And Smith gets double-teamed, stolen by Kanter. And again, Oklahoma City running the court in transition. Here's George. And Galloway pulls it down.
That's just superb interior defense, not allowing him a free run to the rim.
Offensive rebound. Marjanovic. Oh, and it looks like that's going to be a goaltending call. Yep, that's it. So they'll get the basket.
That's a very close call. I'm sure he thinks it's a clean block, but looks like it was on the way down.
Tries it from 19. The rebound by Marjanovic. Marjanovic has got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. Galloway with the bucket. Greg, you watch the Thunder play, and it's clear that this team comes out looking to attack. Everyone on the team wants to put it on the floor and go right at the rim.
And part of that is their leader, Westbrook, just setting the tone. I mean, team finished near the top in points in the paint last season, and the addition of Paul George just helps to enforce that strength.
Tolliver kicks to Galloway. And with that, the Thunder lead is cut down now to just 12 points with the basket from Marjanovic.
I'll tell you, he's been one area they haven't had to worry about tonight. He's been scoring at will.
The shot's good from Kanter.
Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
Outside, George. And it's George finishing it off.
And make no mistake, Paul George is a fierce finisher inside.
Detroit's gone 1 of 4 in three-point shots here in the third. Smith drawn the double team. Paul George with the steal. Fast break, here we go. Jumps up, and Adams with the slam.
I'll tell you, that's an assist that shows great sense for where his teammates want to move.
And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession. So for the Pistons, Lewis checked in for Tolliver. And Bradley subbed in for Johnson. And a switch here also for Oklahoma City. Roberson, he's checked in for George. Bradley, no one around him. Off target from outside. The Thunder leading by 18. Roberson can't hit.
Boy, great job protecting the rim and turning an easy layup into a missed opportunity.
Here's Galloway. And it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. Paul George, he's been the guy making things happen for Oklahoma City. And of everything he's doing well, it's his scoring that you point to first. Already 22 points in this game. We come back right after this. And now let's take a listen to Stan Van Gundy on a recent huddle.
Hey, come on, we got to do this together and play some defense. Let's go.
Stan Van Gundy pleading with his team. Guys, get on the same page is his message and stay together.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to take good communication on both ends of the floor to give Coach what he wants.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. So for Oklahoma City right now, Patterson the 4 with Canner in the middle. Westbrook and Roberson are the backcourt pair, and it's Abrinas in at the small forward position. Snatched up. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. Free throw good, Lure. Of course, you've been a color analyst for both men's basketball, women's basketball. Stylistically, what's the difference, in your opinion, between the two, if anything?
Well, I think there are a number of differences. The primary one being athleticism is slowly starting to take shape and more dictate the outcome of success in women's basketball, whereas athleticism has always been a part of dictating the outcome of games. The above-the-rim aspect of the NBA versus, for the most part, the below-the-rim aspect of the WNBA. That would be the primary difference for me.
But the fundamentals, too, sometimes stand out. The women's game, I think, really you can see fundamentals so strongly.
You can, Kevin, and I think what helped the women's game tremendously was, especially in the WNBA, you had NBA coaches transition to roles in the WNBA, the Bill Lambiers, the Mike Thibault, so they taught that group how to be pros, how to win on that level.
Excellent point. Andre Drummond's checked in for Ish Smith. Just over a minute played here in the fourth. Near the three-point line, it's Westbrook. Some solid defense there from Jackson.
Well, in the rebounding game, at least, it's been a strong physical performance for him.
Harris dishes to Jackson. Stolen by Cantor. And now here's George, the fast break opportunity. And it's George finishing it off.
Well, Kevin, you allow Paul George loose in fast break situations. He's an absolute force in the open floor.
Jackson against Westbrook. And they double up Jackson. Stolen by George. He dishes it to Roberson. Here's Patterson. A quick shot there, and it's off target.
And that's really a function of the offense not working as it should.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's not how you capitalize on the offensive end. You simply have to be more patient.
Here's Bradley. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
And really an interesting move by the Pistons, in effect shedding 2 starters in Contavious Caldwell-Pope and Marcus Morris for one in Avery Bradley. Stan Van Gundy clearly valued Bradley's leadership and playoff experience.
That's great use of size and length. Tough down low when guys are battling for that board.
Harris misses. The Thunder leading by 20. And here's George for 3. Buries the long-range jumper. George has got 15 points in just the second half.
And Avery Bradley, an unrestricted free agent after this season. The Pistons have made it clear they're willing to pay the luxury tax to retain his services.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. There's one trend we've seen in the league, an emphasis on getting back defensively rather than pounding the offensive glass. I think of San Antonio a little bit when I think about that. Why is that, you think?
You know, I don't know if this is something cyclical and we'll eventually see teams emphasize getting to the offensive glass as a means to help them win. But one of the most dangerous aspects of the NBA right now is transition three opportunities. We're not even seeing teams get back to the hoop and build their defense out. At this point, they're sprinting to the three-point line and then building back toward the hoop. So a drastic difference. We'll see if it changes at any point.
And Harris wide open. He shoots. That's good. And it's Jackson with the assist that time. Jackson's got assist number 10 tonight with that last one. The shot's good from Cantor.
Well, that's the catch and shoot ability of Enes Kanter. Always gets himself squared.
To the paint. It's deflected. And that's out of bounds. Detroit will retain possession.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Right. I mean, that's solid defense. At the very least, you like seeing them muck it up and make things difficult.
Around 3 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Bangs home the trifecta.
A steady screen set on that play and the defense disappears. Nice communication between teammates to make that play work.
Harris with it. Westbrook picks him up. Harris kicks to Jackson. Here's Lure. Again, the Pistons good for two. And the action on hold as it appears there's been an injury. Yep, he's definitely in a bad way out there right now. Tough to see.
And I'll tell you, this is the last thing you want to see.
I just feel so bad for him. What he's going through right now, you just have to hope and pray that it's not too serious.
McDermott's checked in for George. Here's Roberson. And again, Oklahoma City, no good. Pistons trail by 18. In the corner, Bradley with it. Knocks down the three ball. Bradley's got 19 points.
And he's on his way to putting up a big three-point total.
Right at the free throw line. Offensive rebound, Cantor. And the rebound paying off as they pick up two on the second chance bucket right there.
Listen, he's been a key component of their offense tonight. Efficient and effective.
Got that bucket in no time at all. 8 points for Tobias Harris. Oklahoma City leading by 15. For three, Westbrook. And again, Oklahoma City with the triple.
I love how Westbrook rises and fires immediately. Ball touches his hands and it's gone before you can blink.
Patterson bringing the double. Knocked away. Jackson kicks to Lure. It's Bradley on the wing. Jackson from long range. Over Westbrook. Misses off the right iron.
Boy, just enough defensive attention to throw that shot off target.
That one drops for him. Westbrook's got 15 points here in the second half.
No hesitation at all in transition, and they have a huge margin in that department.
Down low. Roberson the pass to Cantor. And here comes Harris, leading the fast break. Shoots over McDermott. Here's Lure, and a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot two here. That's on Patrick Patterson.
And even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line.
And the first one drops. And while most teams are moving in the direction of attacking from three-point range or inside, Greg, this Pistons team will still look to make a living in the mid-range game.
Yeah, and the Pistons right at the top of the NBA in terms of the highest percentage of their points coming from the mid-range. Almost 20% of their points coming from that area. You have to play to the strengths of your team, even in an ever-evolving game. Right now, that's where their bread is buttered.
How about the mobility for a 7-footer that Steven Adams has? Just outstanding sprinting the floor.
Jackson with it. Westbrook picks him up. And Lure gets it to go.
And really, as the three-pointers keep dropping, you get the sense that the frustration is mounting for the defense.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Well, obviously, the biggest impact Steven Adams has for this team is his ability to be a defensive force in the middle. This guy carves up space, takes away any would-be penetrators, solid rim protection, just an unbelievable guy on the interior.
The Pistons making a change here. Galloway's checked in. Feeds it to Harris. Left side, Bradley. That 3 off the mark.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And the foul called on the Detroit Pistons.
Well, Steven Adams is a guy who understands his role. He wants to play hard-nosed defense. He wants to score it anytime he's got a deep touch in the paint. Love his approach.
More on Adams, Doris. Not only is he a shot-blocking presence, but also will come up with a good amount of steals for a big man.
And that's an area, Kev, where Adams has really improved recently. For his size, he's got great agility and great anticipation in the paint. And I like that there's no hesitation to rotate and challenge any player he switches onto.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. Doris, we've seen a number of aging players really change their bodies through better nutrition and improved fitness conditioning. Do you think we'll see more guys even extending it further, playing into their 40s in the NBA?
Well, how great would it be to see LeBron James play into his 40s? You look at a guy in the NFL, a much more physically demanding game in terms just of the hitting that's done in the game. Tom Brady approaching his 40th year. Incredible. And LeBron James would be the player I point to. There's a guy 6'8", 200 and whatever he is, probably 65 pounds, who every single day puts time into the process of keeping his body healthy. It's great. His greatness has been sustained, but he pays a price to get there, Kevin.
And Doris, you can change your body and you can change your game too as you grow old.
That's a great point. Think about how much of a low post scorer Kobe Bryant became later on in his career because the elevation,
great example.
His ability to elevate, so different.
Great example. Well, the Thunder are not one of the best shooting teams from outside. We know that. They know their strength of their offense, Doris, lies in their ability to attack the rim and get shots in the paint.
Right, because you have to consider the Thunder last year were last in the NBA in three-point percentage, yet second in the league in points in the paint. So when they are able to get inside on a team, that is when they are at their most dangerous.
Eustace is checked in for the Thunder. Here's Galloway. And stolen by Patterson. A moment here now for an injury report. Let's get an update on George. What's the status, David?
Kevin, I caught up with the head athletic trainer for Oklahoma City. The word is he has strained his Achilles tendon. That is a bitter pill for them to swallow so early in the season. It clearly changes the look of this team going forward, Kevin.
All right, David, thanks for checking in and letting us know how he's doing.
And let's just hope that he doesn't have any setbacks during his recovery.
Well, and barring any of those setbacks, Greg, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back ahead of the schedule they've laid out for him.
Tremendous effort. I mean, this guy has already cracked double digits on the backboard.
You know, and a lot of it comes down to great fundamentals. Establishing position early, controlling the carom.
Straight rim rocker.
It looked like, Greg, for a second, like he might rip the cylinder loose. Patterson, the screen. Adams' shot is off. Detroit's gone 4-7 with the long ball here in the fourth quarter. That's tipped. And here we go with Adams running it up the court, and Adams with the slam.
Yeah, this is why Adams is such a high percentage shooter. If he gets close to the rim, he's going to finish with authority.
And Adams with the slam.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, and he was so quick to break on that one. A good sign that he read the play.
And Doris, regarding league expansion with the popularity of international basketball, you think there'll ever be a team added to the NBA that is not located in North America?
You know, this is a fascinating supposition because the game is so popular in China. The game is increasingly popular in any number of non-NBA cities in Europe, Kev. I just wonder about the logistics of it. We talk all the time about the difficulty of the travel schedule and then the games in a certain number of nights. If you're incorporating overseas travel, it just seems to me that that's going to be a tough jigsaw to work out.
It could be. If you're playing on the East Coast and play in a London or a Paris, those flights probably don't measure much over 7 hours. But I get your point, and that, all leagues are looking at this now very closely.
This is something the league is looking hard at. It'll be curious to see what occurs from it.
I think one of the things, too, is do we need to influence overseas markets now to find new revenues? I think that's something that all the leagues are looking at. Smith with it. Westbrook picks him up. And stolen by Patterson. Drive by Adams, and he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time, the whistle blowing. And Detroit gets called for the foul.
Make no mistake, Adams is a very good athlete. He's got intelligence for knowing when to drive and force the defense to foul him.
A different look for Oklahoma City. Jeremy Grant, he's checked in for Patterson. Alex Abrinas comes in for Roberson. And Chris Dunn's subbed in for Russell Westbrook. And the powerful one-handed slam.
And on the road, silencing the crowd. What a dominant performance.
Well, they took control of this game from the outset, a commanding all-around performance and an important road win.
Good work there as it goes.
And you just hate to give up those second chance points.
Boy, you better be more physical on the glass because they wanted that rebound more than them, plain and simple.
And here's Smith. There's the dish to Drummond. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time.
I'll tell you, Kev, they wouldn't object if all their looks were that close.
Kristen. So no problem for Oklahoma City as they get the win. To come into an opponent's building and dominate the way they did tonight says, I think, Greg, an awful lot about this team.
I guess they don't need home cooking to feel at home. I mean, Kevin, just a masterful performance all the way around.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where is your team's attitude right now?
Continue to play together, and we can just stick to that. Keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. And that'll do it, folks. For Doris Burke, David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. See you next time.